We're here to talk about visual journalism, my kind. There's a lot of different kinds of visual journalism, of course, photographs, illustration, but I'm a cartoonist, and I've been a cartoonist for over 40 years, primarily for the New Yorker magazine, and I still am. And I just love recording our lives. I think cartoonists are naturally they're like sponges. They take in the culture, they take in what they see and what they feel and what they hear. Cartoons make us laugh, but they also tell us about ourselves. I really believe that. It's not just about a joke, although that's important too. And I've been doing this a long time. And let me show you, I'll show you a video first of, an overview of the live drawings I've done in the last, let's see, since around 2015, actually, or before. I'll tell you about that later. But the most recent stuff has been almost 10 years. And actually, I've been on Medium more than 10 years. I've been publishing on Medium for over 10 years. And I want to say this up front, I'm really appreciative of what they're trying to do and what they are doing with alternative journalism and publishing, because the media is in turmoil, to put it mildly, for a lot of different reasons. That's another seminar, I think. But I wrote about it in Medium just the other day, if you want to go and look at it on my page. But let me show you this video. I'm going to screen share and show you the video. Let's make sure it's on the right, back to the beginning. Excuse me for, all right, I'm just going to click on it. Maybe it's okay, can you see it? Nope. Apologies. I had it all set up, ready to go. There we go. All right, screen share. There we go. There we go. So this is me at CBS. I worked for CBS News for about 4 years. For their morning show, I would go in, not every day, but at least once a week, and draw the people in the green room and the correspondents and the anchors. And then I would also go on assignments and do things out in the world. This is something I did on TV. This is, I'll talk about it later because I'm showing some of these in a slideshow. But I love doing this, and it's a way to talk about our world through visuals, because I think so many of us are visual people. And yes, we want to read an article about what happened, but we also, and see photographs, but we also want to see drawings. And I think that's my bias. And I've been doing cartoons for 40 plus years. So I'm really used to looking at people, looking at culture, and seeing things that maybe others don't see. And I think I bring that eye to the visual journalism that I do. These were all done in real time on my iPad and shared in real time on Twitter back when I started, and also Instagram, and sometimes on YouTube, and now TikTok.
My name is Damaris Monet. Diane Yunus.
And why are you here?
I'm here for the future of all women and all girls, such as my daughter.
I'm here for my future and my friend's future and the future of our generation.
And the planet.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. It was the Women's March, and I was experimenting with pairing video and interviews. You can see they're done really quickly. I'm not trying to render it perfectly. I'm just trying to get a feel for it. Got to go to the White House. I will show these to you later. I'm trying to capture what's going on, the feeling, and people are like oohing and ahhing every now and then. Something happens in the sky. And it's really it's like very nothing like I've ever done before.
The decoration, the way people live with Christmas, you know, you don't feel Christmas anywhere else except New York. Hope everything is gonna be all right, you know. A lot of health in people, you know, economy is gonna be better probably. Everything is fine.
These were the candidates, I think, back in 2020, Democratic candidates. Marathon. I drew, well, I'll talk, I think I have this in the slideshow.
Oprah Winfrey is trying to help make your life better through food. She's in our Toy Groom room to share a new cookbook and her personal journey with food. That's ahead here on CBS This Morning.
Yankee Stadium. I really loved going to Yankee Stadium with CBS. That was so much fun. I'm a baseball fan since I was a little girl, and this is a video screen grab. I've done a number of these, which the iPad records my drawing as it emerges. This is Coney Island, which was really fun. Went there with CBS. I think that's it. All right, let me hi again. So I'll pull up this slideshow and show you more images and talk about process and each of the individual experiences. I hope I may have to pick up speed a little bit. All right. So this is a drawing I did when I was in college. And I'm showing you this because I'm thinking back to when I started, and I'm not going to go into a whole history of my life, don't worry. But I can follow back. I was drawing since I was 6 or 7 years old, drawing cartoons. But I also later on started traveling a bit. I went to the Soviet Union with my college in 1976, which was quite fascinating. And I didn't draw this on the street because I didn't really think about that then. But I wanted to capture what I was seeing and feeling and hearing and experiencing through drawings. And so this is a drawing I did probably in my room in the evening after walking around Moscow, and the contrast between the modern and the old. So I think I was already thinking about live drawing or visual journalism from when I was an art student at Earlham College. But the real start of this live drawing, digital live drawing, began in around 2015, the State of the Union address. I was watching it, like I try to watch all of them, and they can be boring, but they also are fascinating on some level for me. And I just started drawing what I saw on the TV and sharing it on Twitter immediately, and it seemed to get a lot of attention from the Twitterverse. People loved seeing these bold, sort of quick drawings with. Sometimes I would make a comment in the tweet, but it was more this, and people responded to it. So I just kept doing it. I kept doing it with events that I knew we were all paying attention to. I love this Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States. This is Joe Biden more recently. My style has evolved, and you'll see that in a lot of these drawings. I use different stylists now. I used to use a stylist that came with the program I use, which is called Paper. It's a great program. If any of you are artists, I would check it out. It's a very simple drawing program. I like that because it's just very intuitive. And then I try to capture moments that are immediate and we're all experiencing, like when Obama hugged Ruth Bader Ginsburg at the State of the Union address that year. Trying to get the feeling and capture the moment. I miss a lot of moments, but this one I didn't miss. There's another moment that I got when Trump was giving one of his speeches at the State of the Union, and Nancy Pelosi ripped up his speech. Another thing that was all talked about in the news all over the place. Here's a more recent State of the Union address with Biden. And I sometimes try to capture, I'm listening as I'm drawing, of course, and I try to capture things that people say or the speakers say to add to the visuals. Now, debates, I've drawn a lot of debates. I have yet to get to a debate in person. I always do it from my monitor in my studio. And this is obviously not a live drawing, but I just wanted to show it to you because I think it's kind of funny. It was 2020. Everybody was thinking about how am I going to beat Trump? Democrats. You can see Beto O'Rourke there in the middle, very tall. So I don't always do, sometimes I'll do commentary like this, but it's mostly just visually showing what I see and experience. This was an early debate with Hillary, and much earlier than 2020. 2016, and this was I did this for CBS, and you can see my style is very minimal. It was just happening so fast, trying to capture everything or a lot of stuff, not worrying too much about caricatures. But the puppet thing was something that resonated with the country a lot after that. And this is sort of teasing Bernie Sanders when he debated with Hillary. He has a wonderful way of gesticulating that seemed to be encroaching on our space. This didn't happen, but I was sort of exaggerating on it. I do that sometimes, not all the time. And here's more debate captures. Cory Booker up on the upper left. My thinking, what he might be thinking. Amy Klobuchar, Bernie talking to Rachel Maddow in a debate. And then there was the vice presidential debate with Mike Pence and Kamala Harris. And if you remember, if you watched that, there was a fly on Mike Pence's head, and the Twitterverse was going wild about that, talking about it. But the most important part of that debate, I think, was when Kamala said this, Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking. And that's something that became iconic for her. I did this, I don't remember when this was, but I just wanted to show it because I like this drawing. I think it captures her the best I've done. I don't always get people right. I've tried my best. Some people are harder to draw than others. Like I finally think I got Biden, but he's hard to draw. He doesn't have any really outstanding features that neither does she particularly, although her hair and the shape of her face is very much her. And then this, I'll show this to you. I don't know, you probably don't remember, but there was a time when Obama was president, and I was traveling, and I got to the hotel, and I turned on the CNN, and I saw this. He was talking to the press, Obama, and he was wearing a tan suit. And he was talking about ISIL, which was ISIS, and serious subjects, but he was wearing a tan suit, and that's all social media could talk about, was why is Obama wearing a tan suit? He usually wears a dark suit. And so I drew this just to be funny. Like the suit was what we were all focused on, not what he was saying. So jump to January 6th. And when the insurrection was happening in Washington at the Capitol, I was glued to the TV and I drew a lot of drawings. And these are done in pencil. I think I did these live later for Instagram. I used to do Instagram live every day at 5. And I would draw with the phone over my hand and talk to people in the live and in the live session about what had happened or what was happening. I did it during the pandemic and then into the election time and then into January 6th. So that's why it's in paper. And I colored it in later. This is the police officer who stopped many of the rioters and insurrectionists from entering the Capitol, or they were in the Capitol, but from moving forward into rooms where the legislators were. Emotional moments, I think. This is the January 6th meeting, which I drew from the television. I do this for major events on television if I can't get there, and I haven't been able to get to the Capitol to do these. Would love a sponsor if anybody out there knows anybody to help me go to these things. I worked for CBS until the pandemic, and then the leadership changed, and they didn't see a need for me anymore. But anyway, so then there was the E. Jean Carroll trial, sexual assault trial versus Donald Trump down in Manhattan, and I thought, I'm going to try to go down there and see if I can get in the door. And lo and behold, I went down and I could get in as a citizen. So I went every day to her trial. I think it was almost every day. And this is a drawing I did of her. We all had to stand in a long line to go through security. And I caught her right across the way, you know, the winding way. And I drew this on my iPhone with my finger. But once you get through security, you have to surrender for this trial, you had to surrender your iPads and your iPhones, any technology. So I brought paper and pencil and watercolor with me, and I drew that way, and then would scan them into my computer and share them. These are all on Medium. Most of these images are on Medium in one form or another, because I write about the experience afterwards and share the drawings. Same thing, I went to the Trump Manhattan criminal trial. We were allowed to have technology in there, which is interesting. So I was allowed to bring my iPad in. But this was outside waiting in line. I thought there were protesters across the way, Trump supporters. I don't know why that man's wearing a Santa suit, but there were a lot of MAGA hats. There were not that many protesters. But then I caught this woman who was there almost every day. We had to get there to get into the courtroom. We had to be there at like 4:30 in the morning to get in line. Anyway, this woman was like, took care of our area, meaning the journalists waiting in line area. There were a handful of citizens who also were in line and another line. But she was there vacuuming or blowing leaves and picking up trash. And so I like the juxtaposition. I like to capture things like that if I can. So once inside, I did not get in the courtroom, the actual courtroom where Trump was. That was reserved for friends and family of Donald Trump, and also the high level journalists like Rachel Maddow and Anderson Cooper and the likes, and Maggie Haberman from the New York Times. So there was another room just down the hall with where other journalists, was full of journalists. And we all watched the trial from a couple of big monitors. And it was fascinating to be in that room. The whole thing was fascinating. This is Stormy Daniels. I did not. These are quotes that I took from the monitor or from news stories. I was not there that day. I had other commitments, but I kept track of it on the New York Times. I would sometimes, as Hope Hicks, sometimes write notes on the side and share those notes with my readers. And then this is just a drawing of the line waiting outside. It was much longer than this. These are all journalists waiting to go in. How much time do we have? Oh, Yvette, sorry. More Trump trial. This is that same woman. Then in 2016, I got to go to the Democratic National Convention. I love that. Tried to get in this year, but was not able to get access. So I'm going to draw it starting tomorrow, Monday, from my monitor in my studio. But I thought this was a fascinating study in American culture and American political process. This is when, of course, when Hillary was running, was the nominee. And then there were many people, very strange people, strange outfits, people, delegates who are really into it. Wisconsin cheeseheads. And then Obama spoke. I was not allowed to be in the room for that. They kept the numbers down. So I watched this from my hotel room. Famous quote that he gave at that speech. And then there's the speakers. So I try to capture the speakers and people that are there and the people that are doing the hard work, picking up after everybody. Behind the scenes. So I feel like I take my viewers with me. That's what I'm trying. That's what I have in my mind is I'm taking you guys along with me to see what I'm seeing. Went to the inauguration 2017, a lot of MAGA hats on the mall in Washington. And then later I got to go to a White House press conference with CBS. Caught the back view of Kellyanne Conway walking by. That was fun. I really loved that. And I got to sit in the press room. And then later so drawing the press. I find myself drawing press a lot, observing the press. And then I got to go into the White House. I forget which room this is. He was having a press conference with the Italian president or prime minister. That was kind of thrilling. Captured a couple people in the audience, Steve Bannon and Reince Priebus and others assorted White House staff and advisors. And then the New York City Marathon, I observed it and drew it twice as an observer, and then I ran it twice and live drew as I walked, ran, and sold the drawings for charity. Not the drawings themselves, but prints of them. The Women's March. Grammys, went to the Grammys with CBS. Tony's was really fun. The Beacon Theater in New York City. I did this Beacon Theater drawing on the left on my iPhone, standing outside waiting to get in. And then the Oscars. I've been to the Oscars 7 times, which has been so much fun, and live draw on the red carpet. And then I get into the dress rehearsal, but I don't get into the show because they don't let me into the actual theater. Rolling out of the red carpet, always a big deal. I get to go ahead of time and draw people setting up and painting and journalists doing their thing and sharing what I see. This is Meryl Streep whisking by on the red carpet. Didn't actually see, I think I caught a glimpse of her face, but what I saw was the backside of her. I'm going fast because I'm running out of time. I want to get some questions. Was it like a few feet away from Al Pacino? That was kind of thrilling. Caught this moment when Spike Lee jumped into Samuel Johnson's arms. I forget why. Eclipse, you saw those. Women's March for Our Lives. And I also draw on the subway on my phone. I love chronicling people that I see. Like I said, I ran the marathon, and Tim Cook of Apple retweeted my my tweet. And the UN has often shared my drawings, and I'm very proud of that. I have an international focus a lot on my work. And you saw Oprah. That was kind of fun to meet her. Very fun. She's very sweet, very nice. And then I got to live draw Yo-Yo Ma. He played while I drew him, and that was a thrill. And then they projected my drawings on the screen behind us, and we talked between drawing and playing. We chatted and talked about creativity and whatnot. Then I do drawings out in the world in Europe. my gosh, this is Florence, I think. And this is Spain. I don't remember where this is. Oh, Berlin, sorry, Berlin. And then, oh, Cuba, I got to go to Cuba for a cartoon festival. I was invited to be on a jury. Beautiful place. This is in Europe, I think. And then this is a drawing I did on my phone on the subway when I heard about the Charlie Hebdo murders, the cartoonists who were murdered by extremists in Paris, and I drew that immediately. I did not know any of them, but I, of course, knew of them. And then I just want to show you this. I did this yesterday, drawing of Grand Central. So let me see what your questions are. I'm sorry I ran out of time. Q&A. Have I ever gone through burnout? You bet. All the time. Yeah. That's why I think the live drawing for me is a release. It's another way to get my expression out and talk about things with my viewers and my audience. Because I think cartoons are all about dialogues. They're all about sharing ideas, I think, for me, and laughing together. So, and then this is the last drawing. Well, thank you for being here. Let's see. It's almost 11:30. Anybody have any more questions? Nobody asked any questions. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Maybe there's some questions in the chat. Oh yeah, the questions are in the chat. Okay. Thank you. Glad it's recorded too. Happy that your 13-year-old daughter is going to see this. Tools for my daily work. My tablet. I draw my cartoons on my tablet. Then I do them, and when I finish them for the New Yorker, my cartoons, I use a Croquil pen, ink, and nice paper. Yeah, cartoons are dialogues. Yeah, I'm glad you agree. Thank you guys. Thank you for being here. I think we're out of time. No, we have less than a minute left. Any more questions? Thank you, Medium, for inviting me to do this. And you can please follow me on Medium. I post almost every day, live drawings and cartoons and political thoughts and cultural thoughts and women's rights. And I'm very, I love talking about the world with my audience. And I love the fact that Medium has made this avenue for us creatives that does not have gatekeepers. I can publish what I want, and I can share it with you and get your feedback immediately. And I think that's the wave of the future. And I'm really happy that Medium's here, and they've been so generous to me over the years. Thank you guys. So have a great day. I guess time? Yeah, it's 11:30. Thank you for being here, and I hope you have a great day. And if you have any questions, just get in touch with me through Medium on my site. You can write me there, or through Twitter or Instagram. I'm all those things. YouTube. I'm all over the place. So happy to meet you guys, and thanks for being here. Bye.